Spending money on clothes that you actually don't need when there's very big gaps that need to be filled in your closet is a problem. So today we're going to be figuring out what you are missing in your closet so that you don't feel like you have a bunch of cool clothes but then can't really figure out how to make outfits out of them. Okay, so the first step is going to feel very basic. It always does. This is how you actually make a change. You're going to open your phone, you're going to go to your notes app, and you're gonna start a note. It should be a place where every time that you're getting dressed and you notice that there's something that would look super cool in the outfit but that you're lacking, you can write it down there. Because realistically, we don't have everything stored in our minds, and it's very good to have a place to note it all down so that when I see something and I want to buy it, I can go back to that list and see if I actually need that or if I better save that money for another item that will make a difference. It's so frustrating when you build an outfit and then you go to add shoes before you leave the house and you're like, I love this outfit, but I don't love any of my shoes with it. If you're like, oh, it's cold, so I need to bring my most warm coat, but I really wish that I had a different type of very warm coat so that I didn't have to use the same one every day. Or if you notice that your favorite basic tee is constantly in the to wash bin and you wish you had a second one, because if you did, getting dressed would be just so much quicker and easier because it's just a piece that you get drawn towards a lot and that is very versatile. So yeah, make that note. Like if you're gonna watch this and not do what I'm actually saying, you might as well not watch it. Now, step 2 is I'm just gonna like contextualize you into how I think about this. And the first step is I look at my clothes via categories, and I could be listing like 10 categories. I do that in my personal style video, but for the sake of being concise and not overwhelming you, I'm just gonna name 4, which are basic, fancy, shoes, and accessories. So basic are gonna be all of your clothes that are not super spiced up, that are pretty common versions of an item. A gray sweater, a pair of jeans or black pants or suit pants, your go-to black boots or white sneakers. And then fancy are going to be all the items that have a little twist to it. When you're getting dressed, they're usually the item that has the biggest spice to it, the one that makes you look a bit more unique or different. Your pair of sneakers that is more out there. It could be a shirt with a very nice pattern. Just all of the things I wouldn't consider basic basically will go on the fancy category. And then I separated shoes and accessories just so that it wasn't too simplistic. Now, I will say there are a lot of factors that can impact how you look, and sometimes you might look in the mirror with an outfit and feel like something is missing, but it's not clothes. A lot of times we don't realize that the hair is a thing that is making us not like how we're looking, but because we've had that haircut for so long, we don't even question it. This year, my hair has been getting shorter and shorter, as you might have noticed, and that has made me rethink my routines. And for that purpose, I've been using dslabs' products. So thank you, dslabs, so much for sponsoring this video. All their products are cruelty-free and vegan, and their Revita line focuses on 3 main ingredients: caffeine, biotin, and this one's hard to pronounce, procyanidine B2. Anyways, we don't know what that is. So I actually did a little bit of research when they reached out to know why I should trust them with my hair, and I was pretty happy. These ingredients stimulate blood flow to deliver more oxygen and nutrients to your hair follicles. They help combat hair loss, protect the scalp and hair from environmental damage, and reduce frizz. They're sulfate-free, safe for color-treated hair, and gentle so you can use them every day, which is what I've been doing. When I used their products, I just felt like my hair was so clean. I don't like washing my hair like every day. I don't wash it that frequently, and it lasted a long time. Something I like with their website is you can browse their list of ingredients to know what each of them does and then choose your products accordingly. They're a leading dermatological brand specialized in science-backed hair care, and they don't want to gatekeep or make you feel dumb. Plus, I do really love that they offer refills so you don't have to constantly be buying more packages. Less plastic, woohoo! If you're interested, the link will be in my description box and you can check them out and order, or you can shop their products at Target, Ulta, Walmart, Amazon, you name it. Back to the video. Once you can see your clothes through this like 4 category lens, you're gonna think about your life. I want you to also kind of categorize the types of things you do most often and find the 3 occasions that you're most frequently getting dressed for. And if you've watched another one of my videos and you've heard me say this, don't skip. I am gonna say new things in this video. I just feel like this method has really stuck with you guys and with me. It makes a lot of sense. It could be work, school, errands, dinner parties with friends, casual work events, remote work, like working from home. And this is important because depending on what your 3 main categories are, you're gonna need different amounts of clothes from each category. Like if you work from home like me, I don't need a lot of jeans. Literally, look at my duck socks. If you use the same type of outfit to go to a friend's dinner party and to work, then you don't need to those two down. And then you're going to think about each of the 3 occasions that you wrote down or that you thought of and attribute a category that you're lacking most clothes of. You can be more specific here, but I feel like out of the top of your head, it will be hard to instantly remember what specific things you need for each occasion. That's probably why you're watching this video. So I don't want you to be like super specific here yet, but just kind of think, okay, when I'm getting dressed for each of these 3 occasions, what would I say is lacking more? Like, do I have enough accessories to spice up my day-to-day work outfits? Do I always end up wearing the same boot that is practical but whose style I don't really love? Because oftentimes we have shopping patterns and we end up buying a lot of the same item that serves the same purpose. Some people have a bigger shoe obsession, some people have a bigger like bag obsession, and oftentimes we're always spending our money mostly on the same type of item. And that's why we keep having gaps. It's because we don't look at our closet like holistically. Also, and I talk about this a lot, you might look at your closet and think that you aren't missing a certain category when you are, because even though you have 20 items in that category, if you look at them individually, you don't love any of them. I think it's very common that we own a bunch of pair of jeans and then there's not a single pair that we actually love. Just because you own a lot of something doesn't mean you have your perfect version of it. And I'm not saying this to like promote consumerism and to tell you to buy like a better version of every single thing that you own. But for the purpose of this video, I don't want you to be judgy about bad purchases you might have made in the past, because I want you to have a closet that maybe will only have like 20 items in it, but there are things that you really like. Quantity is not quality. And I think because shopping gives us so much dopamine, a lot of times we end up buying things you don't love just for the dopamine that it gives us to have on your thing. So now I'm going to list a bunch of questions, and I'm sure that you will not get a bunch of answers for each question that I'll ask out of the top of your head. But if you listen to these questions, I'm sure that when you're getting dressed and you feel the things that I'm gonna mention, you're gonna remember this video and you're gonna be like, oh, this is a frustration that Maya talked in her video. And then you're gonna note down whatever you're thinking about in that note. So question number 1 is, when have I been feeling more pissed off when getting dressed? And I'm sorry for my vocabulary, but I really want to like dig into your heart and be like, when have I been more angry while getting dressed? Honestly, feelings, this might sound so silly and stupid, but feelings when it comes to clothes really matter. How you feel in a piece of clothing is so much more important than how it looks on like a mannequin or a hanger. Pay attention to your feelings, because sometimes you just need to be rational and get over it. But when it comes to this, it kind of makes sense. Second question is a bit related, but also different, and it is, what mood do I not have clothes for? And when I talk about mood, I'm talking, for example, about when I am getting dressed in the morning and it's cold and it's winter and I'm cozy in my pajama pants and I want to get dressed, but I do not want to lose the cozy feeling of feeling hugged by a pair of pants. Like if you were talking to like tomorrow morning's version of yourself, what would make you feel happier? This is making sense. I feel like I wrote this and it felt a lot of sense in my head, and I'm like, am I just stupid? I also want you to ask yourself what clothes are great in theory, but then in reality, they're not actually that good. This could be an item that looked very good on the picture of the website, and then you don't really love it on you. So every time that you see it in your closet, you're like, oh, this is very cute, I'm gonna put it on. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, nah. Then I want you to ask yourself what pieces you have in your closet that you love, but then when you go to make an outfit with it, you can never figure out what to pair with it. This is something that we should be careful about when we're shopping, and in the video that I have about shopping, I talk about it, but we're not gonna cry over the spilled milk here. Is that an expression in English? That's an expression in Portuguese. Next up, I want you to ask, what pieces are you constantly wearing? What pieces are always in the laundry bins to be washed, because as soon as they're clean, you wear them and then they go to wash again? These are gonna tell you a lot about your personal taste, your occasions, your lifestyle, what's very useful to have, and they might be things that just are not missing in your closet, or they can be things that maybe you wear so much that it would make sense to get a second one. The next question is gonna be, what are you always wearing that you actually don't love, but you need to wear because it's useful? Sometimes we are always wearing the same raincoat jacket and we don't really like it, but it's the only rain jacket we have. Again, not saying that you need to go buy 30 rain jackets, but maybe it could be something that you save for that will make a lot of sense for you to have. And then the last question I want you to ask is more related to self-expression, because at the end of the day, fashion, as much as we want to say we don't care about what other people think, is the medium through which people perceive us. And it's gonna be, what do I want to portray more when I'm getting dressed? Like, I don't want to use the word vibe, I don't want to use the word energy, but like, what do you want to transmit when your people look at you with your outfit. Maybe you want to look a bit more silly because all of your clothes feel very adult and corporate and boring. Maybe you want to look a bit more colorful, or maybe you want to tone it down. Maybe you want to look more feminine or more masculine. And as I said, it is going to be super normal that you don't come up with every single thing you're missing in your closet just from hearing these questions. But either write these questions on that notes app or just try to keep them in your head. When are you feeling frustrated when you're getting dressed? What is missing? What items do you go to wear and then you don't have anything to wear with it? What things do you constantly go and pick up from the laundry bin even though it smells like sweat, but whatever, you really want to wear it? I do that sometimes and I feel like I'm not the only one, so please don't judge me. I'm gonna list a few ideas of things that might be missing just so that I can give you a few prompts of things that you might be like, oh, I relate to that a lot, that's missing. But then it's gonna be your homework. Colorful shoes, comfy corporate pants. There are suit pants that do not need to be ironed because for some reason the material is just, they dry and they're perfect and that are comfy. A basic long skirt. Maybe you own a lot of skirts, but they're all very like fancier looking. Casual accessories, things that you can add to the outfits you already usually wear, but make them feel more intentional and stylish. Maybe you have enough clothes, you just need a few things to add a pop to the fits. More undershirts. You could be missing a fun sneaker because you're allowed to work with sneakers, or you go to school and you end up wearing your sneakers all the time and you wish they were a bit funkier looking so that they instantly add a coolness to your outfit without having to try hard. Shirts that do not need to be ironed. It could also be your pair of glasses. Whenever I've had glasses in the past that I didn't love, it didn't really matter what outfit I was wearing. I would look in the mirror and just feel off. So anyways, chances are you did not do all of the homework that I asked you to do in this video, but I want you to at least have that notes app. If you had an epiphany in this video, please comment below what the item that is missing in your closet is, because I think that's so fun to share. Again, check out the dslabs below. I love you guys and I will see you in my next one. Bye.